Hello and welcome back to another Slice of Britain. Because for 20 points in summer of Series 37, you can go ahead and get yourself the 2022 Ford Focus ST. Not to be confused with the Focus RS. So this thing starts out with a whopping 276 brake horsepower and 310 foot-pounds of torque, whilst weighing just a shade under 3,170 pounds. It looks interesting at the front, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I kind of prefer like the older generations of Focus a little better, but going to the side, it's okay. And at the back, I actually do kind of like what they did at the back of it, but I think the front of it could have done with, well, quite a lot more work, to be honest. Going to the inside, it's kind of interesting. We've got a massive screen in the middle right there for us, and we've got digital dials over here instead of regular old school style, well, dials. Now let's go ahead and take a listen to that 2.6 litre engine. So here we are now in the upgrade shop. The first thing we're doing is jumping straight over to conversion and then over to engine swaps to see what we've got. And we've got ourselves a whopping one, which is the 1.6 litre inline-4 turbo rally, which is honestly quite a popular engine swap, but I really wish we could have had some more. In the meantime, we can also go ahead and make this thing either rear wheel drive or all wheel drive, because it starts out front wheel drive stock. But we'll come back to that in a bit. As for aero and appearance, there's actually quite a lot to go through because we have got some stuff right here from Maxton Design. We've got a pretty cool looking front bumper and a secondary pretty cool looking front bumper, and then we've got the delight that is of course Forza's attempt at aero. Going to the back, we've got ourselves a Maxton Design wing, which honestly heavily reminds me a lot of the Focus RS. And on top of that, we've got the McDonald's tray table wing as well. Going to the back bumper, we've got two more from Maxton Design, one of which looking a bit like this, which isn't honestly half bad, and the other one looking like this. Just a very subtle difference, but it is really nice compared to the original. They've also not left out the side skirts. It is a full Maxton Design body kit for this thing, and yes, that also includes the bonnet as well, or at least as far as I'm aware. In fact, there it is. That is the Maxton Design bonnet, which is essentially the same as the regular bonnet, just with a bunch of air vents cut into the top. You would be surprised at the amount of takes I had to do to get that right. However, in the meantime, we have got ourselves a tune made by our wonderful local mechanic, Big Macintosh 762. Let's go ahead and haul up the share code. It should appear just there. There we go. There is a bunch of numbers. Feel free to go ahead and give that tune a little bit of a download, and that's what we're going to do about now. So with those upgrades applied, this thing is now at £2,496 with 287 brake horsepower. Not too much of an increase, but this thing does already start in A-Class, so trying to upgrade it can be tricky. And I was also told this thing's a bit of a pain to upgrade to A-Class, but hopefully it might do good. So here we are now over at the edge of the paint shop. Let's go ahead and check out advanced. We've got nothing but going over to manufacturer paint colours. We've got ourselves a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colours for this thing, and honestly I really like the green, and I think that's what we're going to go with. Now the Ford Focus ST is a very interesting car. It does look very good with the Maxton Design kit, and honestly I do quite like that a lot. But I've actually been able to see this car in person for the first time I think in any one of these videos, and I've got to say it does look pretty cool indeed. However, there is also the older style of Ford Focus, and you might have seen someone else in the convoy at the start of this video, and we're going to move on to that in just a second. And away we go. Now to my right, we have got the older style Ford Focus, because our very own mechanic Mac, who is actually driving in front of us, had an interesting idea. He wanted to see is just as well as how good the new Ford Focus is against a lot of the other cars, he also wanted to see how good it is against the older generation Ford Focus. Both of these have been built up to A-Class with a slight difference. This thing is front wheel drive stock, and that one up there is currently all-wheel drive stock, which is very interesting. And at the moment, I'd say they're relatively close as well. Let's try and see, actually, can we get past him up here? We've got past one, and we've got past all-wheel drive. Alright, on the brakes, brake, please! Now, if for some reason you wanted one of these, it would set you back anywhere between 27,900 up to 33,380 pounds sterling, and hopefully the American conversion for that should currently be on screen. In the meantime, we're now making our way through a little twistier section of the Descenso Dorado Sprint, my absolute favourite test track. Honestly, I bring a lot of cars here for some very good reasons, because this track is absolutely fantastic. And in the meantime, as well as being ahead of everybody else, this current generation of Ford Focus is currently beating the older generation that was set back in 2017. So I guess out of the two of these, grab this tune and get yourself the 2022 Ford Focus. The question is, can I hold off everybody else until the finish line? Hopefully I can, because if not, that's not going to be a good show for this car. Got a couple twistier sections up here. We've got one very sharp left that I've got to try and brake right on time for. This thing is front wheel drive, and it's also had a bit of a collision with the Ford Focus. I don't think it was expecting me to be there. In the meantime, we've got one final turn to go, the finish line, and across we go. And by the looks of things, that was actually a lot closer. And we've got a pretty interesting first place. Not sure what the time was though. So after what was a very interesting end to that race, of which I'm not sure if I was the cause of that crash, but probably was. In the meantime, we're going to take this little green jelly bean, we're going to go and slap in the turbo rally engine, and we're also going to slap in some all-wheel drive, because we're going to try and attempt to make this thing a bit of a drag build. I don't know how well it will go, but hopefully we should get somewhere. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why isn't there a drag build from Mac? That is for one very good reason, of which I will show in just a little bit, as is still currently in the convoy. Honestly, building this thing up reminds me of how long it's been since I've actually been able to build up a proper drag car for myself. It's been so long. So after a bit of upgrading, we're now at 2,564 pounds in weight with only 668 brake horsepower. So this should get very interesting. Honestly, I'm a bit sad they didn't include some more engine swaps for this thing. And the other thing that also makes me sad is I've got to sit here and tune this whole thing. I just thought that means I've got to live up to Mac's standard of making everything wheelie. That should be interesting. Alright, and now to the... Oh, no, wait a second. Wrong festival. Ah, there we go, that's better. Right, let's go ahead and see. Did we get a wheelie check out of this thing? Did we get anything? Kind of. Not really, though. However, this car does have a party trick tune that is currently waiting for it, but we'll get to that in just a few moments. In the meantime, here we are now over at the edge of the drag strip, so let's go ahead and get ourselves onto some good old-fashioned style launch control, and away we go. Let's go ahead and see what we get out of this tiny thing. There's not much power. This thing is honestly quite heavy for what it is. I don't think we're going to get anything too good out of it, but hopefully we might get something. And through the camera at 286, and off the end of the runway at 199, which is not bad, and we've still no brakes. However, I did mention that this car had something that was pretty cool waiting for it, and we've got to make our way back down towards the drag strip for this one. Because if we take a look at our wonderful mechanic Max version of this car, it does something very interesting. And we should see hopefully any second that tune that's waiting for us, and there it goes! It looks so funny from... Oh dear me, it looks so funny from this angle. And if you want to download that tune for yourself, then I'm just going to go ahead and haul up the share code. There it is. Feel free to go ahead and apply that to your own Ford Focus too. So after those wonderful little shenanigans, let's go ahead and throw this thing back onto some semi-slick tyres. In fact, there we go. We'll just go ahead and put them on there. And we're going to go ahead and also grab a nice fresh set of rims for this thing. You know, I'm feeling like a fresh set of Advans this time. And we'll also go ahead and put it back onto some race springs and dampers. And I feel like it needs the Maxton design kit back. There we go. That looks better. However, before we go any further, here's this week's Forzathon shop. We have got the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera from 2019. We have got a very colourful t-shirt of a name I cannot pronounce, and they also have some crew stocks as well. We have ourselves the Bentley Bentayga and the Minecraft themed car horn, which sounds a bit like this. There we go, a little bit of childhood nostalgia for you. We've also got ourselves the Horizon Super Wheelspin and the regular Horizon Wheelspin. And now, out to the motorway. And now it is time for everybody's favourite game show. How close can I get to the little grate where we start everything? Hopefully, I think maybe about there might be enough. Let's go ahead and go through the loading screen and see if we're actually a lot closer, because we definitely missed it last time. And today, I think, hang on, outside camera. There we go, we've actually got ourselves nearly on the grid. We've just got to go ahead and move it forward a slight bit, just so the tyres are sat right there. Perfect. So once again, we're at the motorway, launch control, and away we go. Our tuner is also there with, I think, a Mitsubishi Starion, which might go flying past us later. But let's go ahead and see what top speed we can get out of this, and hopefully it'll be a good one. Because if not, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. So the Mitsubishi has absolutely flown past us, but we're now getting to the edge of the speed zone. Hopefully we'll get something good. Let's go ahead and see. Where does it end? There it is, 222.08. We still have the downhill on camera to go, and the Mitsubishi has decided to not, apparently. So let's go ahead and see what speed we get going downhill. Man, this has been an interesting video. And through the camera, 226.4, going downhill, 228, 229, 230, 231 even. This thing is... Honestly, I'm kind of blown away by it. I don't know what to say. I didn't think this thing would be this quick. However, while this thing's quick in a straight line, is it quick going sideways? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Let's go ahead and send the focus in to our favourite little drift zone and see what we get. This is round number 1. I'm aiming for 30,000 points, and we've got ourselves 39,121. Not great, not awful. Okay, round number 2. Let's go ahead and see what we get. Can we beat 39,000? Hopefully we can. I'm going to try and see if I can stay away from the edges of the bridge, which we do, and out the other side at 37,596 points. In the meantime, that is the little lime menace, which is the 2022 Ford Focus, yours for only 20 points and will take you probably about half an hour to get. It's not too bad, but it's not exactly the greatest car either. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get as many engine swaps, but oh well, guess we can't ask for everything. However, if you want just a little fun daily driver, then definitely go ahead and pick up this thing for yourself. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And as ever, thank you very much for watching. Tech out. See ya. Right, time for another car, methinks.